Hi, welcome to Observations. I'm host John Walsh, publisher of the Palm Coast and Ormond Beach Observer community newspapers. Observations is a collection of podcasts and videos of conversations with neighbors, community partners, elected officials, and friends about local issues that are taking place in many communities.
Hello, welcome to Observations. I'm John Walsh, host. Today on our show is a good friend, Rich Cooper. Rich Cooper is the Executive Vice President of Halifax Insurance Partners. Welcome, Rich.
Thank you, John.
Great. Glad to have you here. And also joining us today is Maureen Walsh, Director of Operations at the Palm Coast Ormond Beach Observer.
Hello.
Welcome.
Good to be here.
Glad you guys could join us. Thank you. Today we're going to talk about not just about Rich's career, a little bit, like to get an introduction from you, Rich, sure. But we're going to talk about a huge passion that I know is in your life, Rotary International.
That's right, John. I'm looking forward to it.
Great. So, Rich, let's get started with a brief introduction. Who are you? Where are you? How'd you get here?
All right, John. Well, first thing I'd like to tell you is I am a native Palm Coaster. Lived here my entire life. Stepped away for a short period of time here and there, but from the community, and I'm back in the community. I love being here.
Boy, we better get your picture. You're a rare breed. Born and raised.
Family moved here back in 1972 from Winter Haven, Florida. So always been a Floridian and grew up here. And
I knew you grew up here, but I didn't know you were born here. That's great
absolutely.
To know.
Thank you, John. So anyway,
start professional career.
Professional career, sure. Little further ahead. Okay.
Yeah.
Professional career. I work for a company called Foundation Risk Partners. The local brand here in Flagler, Volusia is Halifax Insurance Partners. And the way it started was about 4 years ago. I was running my own agency, Mitchell Knoll Insurance, and I was approached by a group of executives that had left another large publicly traded insurance company and or insurance agency, and they wanted to start a new startup company. And I thought this was an exciting and a great opportunity. So that's what we did. I merged with them, sold actually our company to them, became a partner with the new company, and we've been charging ahead. And so now we are the 18th largest retail insurance agency in the nation.
Wow.
Started right here in Volusia County. And we've got 1,700 employees.
I remember a couple of milestones along the way.
Yes.
That you were the very first agency that was part of the group.
That's
right?
correct.
Okay, and so I think in the first year, your total revenue company-wide.
Oh, well, our agency was about $1.8 million prior to the merger, and now we're well over $300 million.
$300 million
That's
annual
right.
revenue in your
That's
company.
Right.
That is an absolute amazing story. We're going to have Halifax Insurance Partners come back as
That'd be
another
a great
segment.
program.
All right,
Thank you.
great. Okay, so the insurance business, but all along the way, you've been involved, or how did you get involved with Rotary?
That's a good story too, John. So I left my original career prior to going into the family insurance. I was a professional firefighter and paramedic. So I left the fire service in 2002 to start selling insurance full time. And at that point, my dad said, well, you really should join the Rotary Club. He was a member of the Ormond Beach Rotary Club, as was a gentleman by the name of Henry Knoll, who was a founder of the Ormond Beach Rotary Club, and he was also a founder of our company at the time, Mitchell Knoll Insurance. So this was the tradition, right? You come work for the family company and you go join the Ormond Beach Rotary Club. That's what I did. That was 2002. I've had some great experiences since then.
So second generation Rotarian in your family. Do you know of any others in your family?
I do. I know of another. Yes, right here amongst me.
I started a little bit earlier. You go to the Rotary meeting and sell your Girl Scout cookies. I don't know if you ever had visits from them, but that was very lucrative at the time.
I bet.
The first club I was in was Sunrise Rotary here in Flagler.
Yeah.
And that was the introduction from all of my kids that they went to the club to sell their cookies or popcorn or whatever their organization was all about. And so Maureen got exposed to Rotary early.
That's awesome. And obviously it had a good effect on you, Maureen?
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, I too am a legacy Rotarian. My father was a member of a Rotary club for many, many years. So I was exposed at a young age as well.
That's cool, John. It seems like you see that a lot in Rotary. You see the generations of Rotarians. When Rotarians expose their children to Rotary, they too become Rotarians. It's awesome.
So this Rotary thing, let's start at the top.
Sure.
Rotary International, 1.2 million members.
That's right. 1.2 million.
35,000 clubs throughout the world,
Give or take. Yep.
right? And so then the subgroups are by country.
So you have Rotary International, and it's divided up. There's, like you said, there's 1.2 million of us. There's 17 zones, or excuse me, 34 zones across the globe, and there's 17 directors. So each director has a zone. We are in zone 34, the 34th of all 34 zones here, and that includes Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, and then down through the Caribbean. We have all of the Caribbean, and we also have 2 countries in South America in our zone.
So the 34th zone, is that significant to the fact that we were the last zone to be recognized, or just
I think it's because we're the coolest zone.
Yeah,
actually.
all right, we'll go with that
the
one.
way the number system works.
Absolutely. We'll take it. Sounds good.
That's how it worked, and we're paired up with Zone 33, which is kind of the Mid-Atlantic. It goes up into West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and those areas. And we have one director who's Peter Kyle for our zone. So within those 2 zones, John, they're 33 and 34, we have 32 districts. So those are districts. Our district, 6970, is Northeast Florida.
Is our district number, 6970.
Yep. And that's Northeast Florida. There's actually 8 districts in Florida. And I am going to be, starting July 1st, the district governor for 6970.
That's awesome. Congratulations. So how long have you been involved? You said you started in 2002.
That's correct.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
And I became the president of our club, which in 2012 through 13, which can I talk about that now?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm excited because you're going to be our president coming up this year.
Well, you introduced me to the Ormond Beach Rotary Club when you were president. I was your guest one night.
That's right.
Yep,
Yeah,
appreciate that.
fun. I appreciate the drinks you bought me.
Yeah, that seems to be a regular occurrence.
Yes. So that was I served my term as president.
Well, you don't just show up one day and become president. So you join the club.
Yeah.
And tell us, some of the things that clubs do regularly.
Okay.
Service projects.
Sure. I joined the club because initially it was I enjoyed the fellowship. It was every Thursday night I was getting to go out and meet with my friends and enjoy, have a good time, kind of cut loose. We're Thursday evening club, so we can do that. It kind of sets off the end of the week. Yep. But then from there, I was introduced by club members, all these great programs where I got to learn about all these other things going on, nonprofits in the community, what they were doing. Just great. I really looked forward to the programs. And then before long, we were doing service projects, and I really helped doing things in our community. I thought it was cool to be out there hands-on doing stuff. It's very public. It's visual. People see you doing good things. They give you the thumbs up and the wave, the honk of the horn, whatever, and that really felt good. And it kind of filled a void from being a firefighter in my previous career, going into an insurance world. You lose that feeling of helping other people. There's a void there. So serving through Rotary filled that void in my life, and it made me feel full again. And so I really enjoyed that. And then there was another thing that really grabbed my heart when we went down to Nicaragua. And I'm not sure if you ever got to participate in that program.
That annual pilgrimage, I'll call it, has been suspended. Political unrest and obviously pandemic and so forth. But no, I was never able to make that trip.
So, but you're well aware we've done a project for years. We've partnered with a community down in Nicaragua where there's great need. And at first, we worked on a children's hospital there, where we just did some upgrades and stuff.
Let me back up a little bit.
Sure.
So we have a member in the club, and his business is he's got a manufacturing facility in Ormond Beach and had another manufacturing facility in Nicaragua. Right. And so Dave Slick, Sr., traveled to Nicaragua frequently and recognized the conditions there. So maybe you could take it from there. What?
Sure. So a lot of conditions. There's a lot of poverty in many parts of Central America, Nicaragua, especially in these communities we were visiting. So there was a great need, especially with children and such. And so the first need we recognized was in this community. We partnered with the community and we were going to help them. 2 years we spent doing rehab work on a children's hospital. But while we were at the Children's Hospital, we noticed that we found out there was a couple things. Children were getting these diseases, and they were going blind, and it was because of some kind of amoeba or something, parasite of some sort that was getting into their feet because they run around barefoot at school and in their communities. The animals come in and around the schools and they defecate. And the kids are getting, while they're playing, they're walking in the feces, and this parasite gets in their body and it causes them to go blind. Other thing, so that really touched David's heart. Other thing that we saw was many children that were having renal failure and kidney problems, and this was because the quality of the water that they were drinking, because there was a lot of minerals in it and stuff. So a couple needs identified there. The first one we attacked, though, was around the schools there, the kids that were getting the parasite. We found a need. There were several schools that if we could put fencing around the schools, it provided a few things. It was security for the school. It helped with theft of materials, toys, books, things like that. It also kept animals out of the schoolyard. And so there, no defecation, grass could finally start growing again, and the kids had a nice place to play in the grass. Community would come out, would meet us out there, and we would do these great projects working alongside people in the community. The kids would come out and help us serve us lunch and stuff. It was,
yeah, really, definitely. That
it hits right on the Rotary motto, that service above self.
Absolutely.
And I think that's one of the main draws for membership in the club, is that you want to give back to your community and others, and it's really awesome when you can go out and see your work finished and know that you've made a difference. So
that's right. That's the value proposition, that great full feeling that you get for helping others.
This year's model is serving to change lives. There's an example of it. So as simple, I say simple, but think about it. The logistics of club members from the Ormond Beach Rotary Club traveling to Nicaragua, the logistics of that in itself, a group of 10, 12 guys at a time.
Yep.
So that was huge. While you're there, you're building, the first project was a fence around the schools. So the relationship continued at that point.
That's right. So we mentioned before the water quality issue. So there are a couple things there. Obviously, you can get parasites from stagnant water sources. Where there was wells, they were often shallow wells, and there was a high degree of calcium and other things in there that was causing issues with the people in this community and their kidneys, causing all kinds of other problems from kidney failure. Other issue is you would have women and children mostly going long distance, several miles, to go get fresh water because it's a mountainous area. So they've got to go down to the valleys where there's running water, get the water, carry it back up, and 3 to 4 hours a day are spent doing water runs. So quality of life issue there. So David had this big audacious goal of, wow, what if we could partner with other clubs, get some money through maybe district grants, maybe through global grants, and we could do something really big. And that's what we did.
What did we do? What year was it?
This started in 2016, 17, I believe, and it was around there. It kind of blends, but we built 3 water towers in 3 different communities, deep wells, leading up to a water tower that was in this. And the way we were able to do this is because power had come to these certain communities. So you can run the deep water well. You need the power first to be able to run the deep water well.
Okay, so we're talking about pushing mountains here. First off, through the Rotary organization itself, had to work with clubs within our district, had to get the district buy-in and support, and then it went up the Rotary chain. That's right. Up until the international level.
That's right. We partner with the Rotary Foundation, and we got a global grant. And all in together, I believe the project was a little over $700,000. And that seed was, I believe, from our club was $60,000 or something to that effect. So we leveraged $60,000 to get it over.
Our club founded the initiative. They funded the initiative. We put in $60,000 and then was able to get enough support for a total project worth almost $750,000.
That's correct.
That's amazing. And then the other part of it that I find fascinating is working with the local Nicaraguan government.
Yeah,
that was pushing mountains again, right?
So there was, and we got a language barrier. We got a different politics work very differently there. So there was a lot of barriers to overcome, but we made it happen. We had Rotarians, of course. When you do a global grant, you got to have a home club, a Rotarian, over. You got a sponsor, and then you got a club over the other side that works with us. So that's that's how we made it happen.
Great project. Really proud of that one. We're going to take a break right now and come back in a few minutes, talk a little bit about Rotary and more on a local level.
At The Observer, we work to make sure you receive engaging and relevant content you can't find anywhere else. Our coverage not only delivers news and information focused on where you live, work, and play, but we also aim to surprise and delight with fresh ideas and features. On our new podcast channel, you'll find more of the stories you love. We'll also bring to you exclusive conversations with engaged members of our community that expand on some of those hot topics. We appreciate you stopping by and hope you'll tune in.
Welcome back to Observations. I'm host John Walsh. With me today are Rich Cooper, Halifax insurance partner and district governor, Rotary district governor of District 6970, and Maureen Walsh, production manager at the Palm Coast Ormond Beach Observer. Thanks again for joining us, guys.
Absolutely.
So, Rich, we talked about the big audacious project, new water systems in 3 communities in Nicaragua, which was huge. Let's bring it a little closer to home. Let's start with the district level. Tell us about the makeup of District 6970.
Sure. So 6970, like I said before, is Northeast Florida, and it's composed of District 6970. It's Northeast Florida. It's composed of 12 counties and roughly 65 clubs. So we have all the way down the lowest, southernmost point is Edgewater. We go all the way up to Amelia Island and Fernandina Beach, and then we go over into Ocala.
Wait, you say we. You, district governor visiting all these clubs.
We're all part of the district.
Really?
Yeah. We've got the great communities of Ocala, Gainesville, Palaca, all the way up through Stark into Jacksonville, Baker County. It's just a neat slice of Florida, and I love traveling through it.
And so out of the 65 clubs, how many have you visited so far? Now, your official term takes place this month, right? Or June, right?
Starts July 1st.
July 1st.
So really, I haven't visited too many. And we had a little thing going on, John. You might not have been aware, but COVID, did you hear that?
Oh, I think I remember that.
Yeah, so...
so a lot of clubs weren't meeting.
Yeah, we were doing a lot. And I did visit some clubs virtually, which was kind of cool. It saved certainly on gas and time, but there was a lot of that going on over the last year.
Yeah, shame on me. Mm-hmm. Great. So 65 clubs.
Yep.
And what's your role as district governor? What's the big goal this year?
It's my role primarily is to support the 65 club presidents and their membership to make sure they have the resources that they need to do whatever good they want to do, in their communities or even around the world. They may have a great water project idea.
So the messages have changed throughout my relationship and my involvement in Rotary, and I think the most recent has been each club needs to find its own way. What makes it successful?
Yeah.
So maybe touch on some of the more successful clubs and what are the components that make them successful.
Okay, so success can be measured in a lot of ways, obviously, right? We can measure it in membership growth. We can measure it in dollars raised. We can measure it in the work that's been done or the fun that's been had. I mean, there's a lot of ways to measure it. So all clubs are a little bit different, and so we have to, it's hard to say what's successful and what's not. What's not successful that I've seen is a refusal to change with the times, and that's not directed at any particular area. It's just that we got to be flexible because times do change, and your membership wants different things from time to time. It could be that they want to meet at a different place. They want to meet at a different time. Perhaps they want to start having 2 meetings a month instead of 4 meetings a month. Lots of things, but you got to listen to your membership. You got to respond, and if you're not growing and you're not happy and you can't figure out why, probably something that needs to be changed.
Yeah, something to take a look at.
I think that's one of the larger challenges with a lot of organizations, but Rotary, it's a historic club and it's been around for a while. And it's challenging to kind of figure out, what can we do to attract younger membership? Are there any initiatives through Rotary or locally in our district that are going on to attract a younger membership or, some new people into what Rotary does?
Sure. So membership's been an issue for us. During the last year and throughout the pandemic, we didn't really lose any more members than we normally did in the past. We did not attract very many new members, though. We had a hard time attracting, doing things virtually and such. Some clubs were successful, but by far, most were not. There is a huge push in Rotary right now to expand our membership and be more diverse and more inclusive. That includes age, genders, people from different walks of life and in different areas. We want to make things a little bit more diverse and inclusive, but there's a special focus on young people, right? Because you've heard of your clubs getting stale, kind of an old man's club. That's what the old Rotary label is like, oh, that's just a group of old men. I don't want to be part of that. So we're trying to change the look of what Rotary is. When you see a Rotary club, we want to see a multi-age. We want the old men there, but we want the young people there too. We want it to be more diverse, more colorful, and more inclusive of the communities that we represent.
You talk about diversity in the club itself, but what about among club to club to club? Are we seeing different groups forming Rotary clubs?
So
right?
You segue into a great subject. There's an initiative right now called the Innovative Club Initiative. And so what they're trying to do is we don't have to be a traditional Rotary club anymore. We can focus on, there's veterans Rotary clubs. It's all veterans. Rotary clubs for a specific, there's out there across the country, a specific employer will have their own Rotary club within a large employment place. There's all kinds of, they're starting up special interest clubs, just various things starting up, and we're trying to test that and see like how far can we go with that innovative. So you're going to see some new interesting things. We're not, we don't have the geographical boundaries that we had before. One thing we learned through last year and through the pandemic is that you can still be a member of a club virtually in a lot of cases. So a lot of clubs are grasping that. Well, I love to be together in person. I recognize the tool, the virtual tool, and what it can be and what it can do for us. And so there's a lot of clubs out there that just because people don't live in the same community, they can still form a club. They're going to be a club from people from all around the world with a special interest or a special focus. There is cause-based clubs like for like a cause for cancer, like that's their thing, is they're trying to fight breast cancer. And that's what that Rotary Club does. They may do other Rotary stuff, but that's what their cause is. So there's all these different options out there of new things that and new clubs that may start. Can we talk about young Rotarians again?
Sure. So each club, it's important to have diversity. So it's important to have diversity within the club, but also diverse clubs throughout the district and throughout the zone and globally. What is the common denominators of what makes that club continue to move forward? And I guess what I'm asking is, not every Rotarian has the same value as a member, right?
Sure.
And so that's why you need maybe younger members joining the club going forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, like I said, you need all of them, but we want to attract younger members because they are the future, right? They're going to fill. We're going to lose older members, and we need younger members to come in. There's have you ever heard of Rotaract?
Sure.
Rotaract.
Yeah, I think we had a club at one point in time that we were
we
involved
did,
in.
We
yeah.
did. So there's a big push now. Rotaractors, they're real Rotarians now. They're just like us. There's a push, and starting July 1st, 22. They'll be able to apply for grants themselves. So they're going to be considered Rotarians as well. So this is another option.
Define a little bit. Tell our.
Oh, sure.
What is it?
A Rotaractor is somebody between the age. It's a younger Rotarian. It's not a Rotary club. It's a Rotaract club. The due structure is a little bit different. Their guidelines are a little bit different, but it's mostly age 18 to, I'll say 30, 35. I think they got rid of the age cap, I'll say. So I don't know that there's a cap anymore, so you could stay a Rotaractor. But there's lower dues, and the structure is geared towards younger people. There can be college-based Rotaract clubs, which are for college-based people, and then there's community-based Rotaract, which is for those young professionals that are out of college in the work community and or in the community.
Can't hang with those old guys.
That's right. Maybe they're not ready to. Maybe that's not appealing to them. So there is Rotaract, and these are great feeder clubs for Rotary clubs, but they're also great partner clubs for Rotary clubs. So you can get a Rotary club full of older people in a community or
Mature
people, thank you, in a community.
Seasoned veterans.
Thank you so much, in a community. And you could partner with a Rotaract club. And between the two of you, now generally speaking, not always, the more seasoned, mature people are able to write bigger checks. And then sometimes, not always, the younger people have stronger backs and able to work a little harder. Why can't we pair up together and maybe get some work done? You know?
Leverage resources on either side.
Yeah. Work to our strengths.
Yeah, I mean, there's great opportunity, and I think that's popular conversation right now about these pipelines, right? And how do we get the kids to come back and be involved? And one of the things that we're fortunate to have here in Flagler County is a really strong Interact Club, actually, and we've got a great relationship with those students in our high school, and it's exactly like you're saying, when we put on fantasy lights at the end of the year and we need some additional support and to do the physical labor and those kinds of things, we're able to call on those students, and they're active and always excited to get engaged with our club. And so, how do we make sure that we can keep them engaged and involved locally in the club and continuing that Rotary mission? So I think that's a really exciting opportunity for clubs.
So we start with an Interact Club, that's at the high school level, go to the Rotaract Club, young adults, and then the regular Rotary clubs, guys like us, all members.